Hello and welcome. Go grab your coffee, your cup of tea, or your hot chocolate. It's kind of a dreary day here in northwestern Pennsylvania. I am going to talk about the soul contract. Get that cup. Come on back. Stick around to the end of the video. I am going to tag some important information at the very tail end, and I will see you in a moment. Okay, we're back. Yes, soul contract. What the hell is it? And what the hell did I sign up for? Before we're born, we all, every one of us, our soul stands before God. And we are just a sparkling essence in our mommy and daddy's eyes at that point. We aren't even, we're not even in the picture at all. And as we go before God, we come into agreement with some of the things that we have to accomplish while we're down here. We come into agreement on the trials and tribulations that we need to face while we're down here. We come into agreement on the lessons that need to be learned from those trials and tribulations. And we also come into agreement on the time we have here. So from a medium standpoint, I have never seen anybody die that wasn't ready. Whether it was a long-term ongoing illness or whether it was a sudden tragedy. It was all laid out ahead of time. We also choose at that point our parents. I remember I was a horrible little child. I was spoiled rotten, or so I thought. At about 5 years old, I ran away from home. Packed up a little suitcase, was running away. I remember throwing a hissy fit when my mother dragged my little behind back home. I didn't ask to be born into this family. Yes, I did. I picked that family. You pick everything on the other side. You pick out your body, this meat suit that we wear down here. We pick out color. We pick out anything to do with the body. Heavy, thin, handicapped. We choose that on the other side. Now, for example, if somebody does choose a handicapped life this time around, they are speeding up their ascension and their evolvement on the other side. Gaining a fast track onto being a better person the next time and the next time until they no longer have to come back. We also choose our sexual orientation while we're over there. That's where it's decided. If last time around you were a homophobe, or this lifetime even, guess what you might be next time? If you are a bigot in this lifetime, yeah, you kind of chose that too a little bit. But guess what you're going to be next time? Yeah. Karmically, we go through multiple lifetimes. We thought just 2 or 3 past lives, hundreds, thousands even. Since the beginning of time, unrecorded even. But we choose those things on the other side. And we kind of come into agreement with some of those things in the same soul family. Now, your mother may not have been your mother in a past life, may have been a mortal enemy and came back this time around as your own mama. You may have been a man in a past lifetime and you're a woman this time around. I know I have been a man in more lifetimes than just one. I have a very strong mechanical aptitude. I constantly, I still to this day try to do one-upsmanship with any man on anything he can do, minus a few things. Riding motorcycle, running backhoe bulldozer, driving semi, running a chainsaw, you name it. And I've also done some of the office and clerical work that you expect a woman to do, but I'm comfortable with masculine things. So I have been a man in more lifetimes. So, you know, we get to pick who we are, really, in this lifetime. Those trials and tribulations that we do choose have a lot to do with how we gain ascension on the other side, too. We all are evolving every time we're here until we develop kind of that Mother Teresa energy, like till there's no more mean or ugly left in us, no negativity at all. We keep coming back once, time after time after time, wash, rinse, and repeat until we get it right. If you are a mean, nasty, negative person, you're going to keep coming back to you. Let it go. I've had to deal with those, a few of them. We have a tendency to come back as the things that we dislike too. You know, I often talk about hatred and bigotry of any kind. And if you know somebody that is very closed-minded and can't change with the times, that remain to be bigoted in any way, shape, or form, that's part of the trials and tribulations, man. You'll figure it out. When we are standing before God at that time, there's only one thing He wants us to know, and that's love. It is the first thought and major emotion that God is wanting us to learn is unconditional love. Not departmentalized because somebody doesn't believe what you believe or is not the same color you are, but unconditional love. It takes a long time to get there. But that's kind of what the soul contract is. It's the choices we make before we are born on the things that we need to accomplish while we're down here. Now let's get to that. We're going to fast forward. We're going to get to that, the agreement we made on that time frame. You know, a lot of you carry guilt about you may have lost somebody in a tragedy. You know what? Only if I had been with them like I was supposed to be, it would have never happened. If I'd have drove home that night, it would have never happened. If things would have been different, no. Stop beating yourself up about that. That time frame is predetermined on the other side. Now, there are some thoughts on that exit date. You know, some of us believe that you get a couple of, there are 2 you get to choose from or 3 exit time frames that we get to exit this lifetime. You know, I'm not so sure about how many we get, but I know we at least get 1 or 2. You know, you can make this choice to go now or not. A lot of times it happens through a tragedy, though. Somebody gets, you know, some kind of a near-death experience. And when I say near-death, I don't mean the fact that you almost got in a wreck, okay? Near-death is usually when you get dead and then revived. But either way, you know, sometimes a bad wreck can be the catalyst to make you change your way of thinking, too. Aim your life the way you were intended, to bring that love into existence. Oftentimes, you know, we get a dark night of the soul, and sometimes it lasts months and years for some people, especially if you're dealing with grief and, having a hard time healing. Sometimes it takes a long, long time for the heartache to heal. But getting back to that time frame, oftentimes when there is a tragedy, a suicide, perhaps, that soul is completing its last and highest obligation to God. There's something pressing. It feels like it needs to go. That person feels the soul needs to go home. They may be dealing with addiction, mental illness. They chose that ahead of time. Those were in the trials and tribulations. So sometimes you cannot, when you want to step in and help somebody out that's dealing with, especially addiction, it's like, let me help you. Sometimes you can't help change their karma. It's something that they've got to, and that literally is part of the karmic thing, is what we didn't do last time, we have to do next time, and that's karma. Making it right. But when somebody leaves due to suicide, they do sit in a little bit of an elevated position on the other side. They are allowed, given time to decompress, and they are treated with tender and healing hands up there. That's about it. We get to pick out all those basic things, whether we have good eyesight or bad eyesight. We pick out whether we are crippled or healthy. We pick out a lot of those things. We pick out that family. We also choose to come back with some of those old friends too. Those are friends, those deep friends are soulmates. Time and time again, when we come back with them, wash, rinse, and repeat. All right, that's about it. At least anything I can think of. I hardly ever use notes. I try to let spirit guide me and give me that information, kind of channeling it as I go. So there you have it. That's what a soul contract is, and what the hell did I sign up for? All right, there you have it. Again, the tail end of a video, and I forgot what I was going to give you. Stay tuned. See you next video.